for a review. Number 1, which of the following represents a linear function? Circle the letters or letters. I'm looking at A, and when I'm looking for a linear function, I'm looking for a line. This does not have a line, a straight line. B, yes, that is a line. C is not a straight line. The only one I need to answer here is B. 2, find the slope of the line below. So I see 2 points here. So I'm going to go down 1 unit and run over 2 units. My slope, I'm using rise over run. So my slope, I went down 1 and I ran to the right 2. On graph number 3, I'm going to mark my point at 0, -1, and I see another point at 3, 1. Those are not the only 2 points, but those are the 2 points I'm going to use. So again, I'm going to do my rise over run. So I'm rising up 2 units and running to the right 3 units. So that gives me my slope of 2/3. I have lots of points to choose from here. I'm going to pick 2. I'm going to pick this one, and again I'm going to count my rise over run. I'm going down 1, 2, 3, and to the right 1. So my slope is going to be -3 over 1, which is just equal to -3. I have 3 points to choose from on number 5. I think I'm going to pick the one at 0, -4, and at 5, 3. So again, I'm going to do rise over run. I'm going to rise up 1 and run to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my slope is 1 over 5. Okay, number 6. Does this represent a linear relationship? Why or why not? One of the things we want to look for is a table, and we want to see if it has a constant rate of change. So I want to take this situation. Let's see, in first grade we have 15 minutes. Second grade we can have 20 minutes, and then it jumps to 6th grade to having 40 minutes. So let me see if I can fill this in. See, 3 minutes might be 25. 4th grade might be 30, and 5th grade should be 35. Okay, so then I can tell these go up by grade levels. These are going up at a constant rate of 1 grade per year. And this is going up 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So the number of minutes per year is going up by 5. So that is yes, it has a constant rate of change. There's a constant rate of change. Number 7, I'm going to look, the Booster Club is selling t-shirts for $15 each. So if I buy 1 t-shirt, I pay $15, 2 t-shirts, $30, 3 t-shirts, $45, 4 t-shirts, $60. And I want to see if that's a constant rate of change. So the difference between these goes up by 1, so that's a constant rate. And the t-shirts go up by 15 each time, and that's a constant rate. So yes, that is a constant rate of change. Okay, number 8. The number of bacteria in a petri dish multiplies by 3 every hour. So if I have after 1 hour, if I have 1 bacteria, that should be 3 at the end of an hour. 2 should be 9 at the end of the hour, and 3 hours I would have 27. So these go up by 1, so the x side is okay. This goes up by 6, and then this goes up by 13. So that is not a constant rate of change. So this is no. It is not linear, and it has the rate of change is not constant. Find the slope of the line that passes through these 2 points. So we're going to be using the formula m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And the first thing you always want to do is label your points. So here's x1, here's y1. That's just my first coordinate point. Here's x2, here's y2. Label them so that you can plug them into the formula correctly. So m equals y2 is 11 minus y1 is 8 over x2 is negative 4 minus x1 is negative 2. Now we just use the order of operations. 11 minus 8 is 3. I have a double negative here. That double negative changes it to positive. So I get negative 4 plus 2, which is negative 2, and my slope is negative 3 over 2. Number 10, label your points, x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug them in. M equals 7 minus 10 over 8 minus 2. Simplify. Negative 3 over 6. Reduce my fraction, negative 1/2. Number 11, label your points, x1, y1, x2, y2, plug them in. M equals negative 5 minus 11 over 9 minus 12. Simplify, negative 16 over negative 3. Simplify further, 16 over 3. Negative and negative is positive. I'm going to leave it an improper fraction. Number 12, label your points, x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug them in. M equals 8 minus 6 over negative 5 minus negative 5. Simplify, 2 over, and that becomes double negatives become positive, and that gives me 5 minus 5, which is 0. I cannot divide by 0, which makes my slope undefined. Number 13, label your points, x1, y1, x2, y2, plug them in. Negative 4 minus 2 over 0 minus negative 3. Simplify, negative 6 over, I have double negatives, that'll change to positive. 0 plus 3 is 3. Simplify, negative 2. 14, x1, y1, x2, y2 to label my points. M equals negative 6 minus negative 6 over negative 2 minus 3. I have that double negative, so that'll change to positive. And 6 minus 6 is 0 over negative 5. 0 divided by negative 5 does equal 0. Okay, do the following tables represent linear functions? Okay, so I want to check and see if they have a constant rate of change. So this goes up by 1, this goes up by 1, these go up by 1, so that's a promising look. They need to go up by the same amount. Now I need to check my y's. That goes down by 5, that goes down by 5, that goes down by 5, that goes down by 5. So Table 15 is a yes, it is a linear function. Number 16, this goes up by 2, this goes up by 2, all of the x's go up by 2, this goes down by 1 and up by 3, up by 1, up by 2. Because these are not constant, this is not a linear function. Table 17, this goes up by 2, this goes up by 3, this goes up by 3, this goes up by 2. Because these are not constant, it is not a linear function. Table 18, this goes up by 1 on each of the differences, and this goes down by 2 on each of these differences. So number 18, yes, is a linear function. Do these situations represent a linear function? Yes. They were paying $35 a month. $35 a month plus 3 cents per minute. The 3 cents per minute is a constant rate of change. A bodybuilder increases his weight 15% each week. That is a no. Percentages are not linear. If he weighed 100 pounds, and I know a bodybuilder's not going to weigh 100 pounds, 15%, that would be 15 pounds. So that would be 115 pounds next time. 15%, that would be, let me get my calculator out here. That would be 132 pounds and a quarter. So those are not going up the same amount each time. So percentages are not linear. Trixie can earn double the points for each purchase she makes. No, that is not linear. Double the points, that's multiplication. So she earns 1 point and she doubles it, then that would be 2 points. If she goes the next time, that would be 4 points. That's not going up the same amount each time. A teacher takes off 4 points for each missed problem? Yes. If you miss 1 problem, you get 4 points off. If you miss 2 problems, you get 8 points off. If you miss 3 problems, you get 12 points off. So you are getting 4 points off for each problem missed. That is a linear representation. 23. Does your shoe size compared to your age represent a linear function? No. Your feet grow pretty rapidly, so by the time you're an adult, your shoe size would stay about the same. 24. Maya eats 1 tablespoon of cookie dough every 5 minutes. Yes. Okay, because she would have, at 0 minutes, she would have 1 tablespoon. At 5 minutes, she would have 2 tablespoons. At 10 minutes, she would have 3 tablespoons. So as the time increases every 5 minutes, she is increasing her tablespoons of cookie dough. So yes, that is a linear function. What is the equation of the linear parent function? That is y equals x. Y equals x, or in function notation, that's f of x equals x. Complete the given items for the linear parent function. It's a 1-to-1 correspondence. The x's equal the y's, so that's going to be -2, -1, 3, 1, and 7. In the mapping, again, it's a 1-to-1 correspondence. So if it's -9, it's -9, 0, and 7. Sketch the graph. So here's my x and y axes. It's a 1-to-1 correspondence. So starting at 0, my x's equal my y's, and it's going through the center. 27, Slope Dude would be helpful here. Remember from Slope Dude on video 4A.2, Slope Dude went up the mountain and it was a puff puff positive slope. He had a nice negative riding down the slope. Walking back was zero fun. And then he fell off the cliff and that was undefined. Okay, so remembering Slope Dude, the slope for number 27 is undefined. And the slope for number 28, that was zero fun. 29, using the tables below, find the slope of each line. Pick 2 points. Pick any 2 points you want. Label them. So this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2. And then again, we're going to use our formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I'm going to pick y2 is negative 3 minus negative 5 over negative 7 minus negative 4. I don't need that parenthesis there. Simplify. I've got double negatives, so this is going to turn into a positive, and this is going to turn into a positive. And I'm going to simplify. I get 2 over negative 3, and that's my slope for 29. I'm picking my slope for 30. I can pick any 2 points, label it x1, y1, x2, y2, plug it into the formula. I get 4 minus 4 over 1 minus 0, which gives me 0 over 1, which is equal to 0. So my slope is 0. Okay, interpreting some real-world problems. Rate of change. Rate of change is the same as the slope. So I can pick any 2 points. And I'm going from 9 to 18, so I'm going up 9. Remember, we do have to take into consideration the scale. And I'm running over, these are a half. So if I'm running over from 1 to 2, I'm actually only moving over 1. So my slope is 9 over 1, or just 9. Meaning, we use the general form y per x. So my y is cost. So it costs $9 per shirt. I only had one shirt. $9 per shirt. The x-intercept, that's how long it takes to reach 0. So my x-intercept, I'm starting at 0. So I got to sell 0 shirts. For $0. My y-intercept, that's my beginning amount. Beginning amount. And we're beginning at 0 shirts. We're starting out with 0 shirts. Our independent variable on the graph is always on the bottom, so that's going to be the number of shirts. And the dependent variable is always on the left side, and that's going to be the cost. 32, rate of change. I'm going to use my x and y intercepts, so that means I'm going down 1,000, and I'm going over 8. And I'm going to simplify that. I can divide that by 2, and that gives me negative 500 over 4. I can still divide by 2. That gives me negative 250 over 2. And I can divide that by 2. I get negative 125 over 1, or negative 125. My meaning is y per x. So since it's negative, that means I'm losing $125 per, and my x is years, so per year. I'm losing $125 per year. My x-intercept, how long does it take for me to reach 0? So I think I just messed up, but okay. My x-intercept, that crosses at 8, 0. And the 8 means that it's going to take 8 years to have $0. My y-intercept, that's going to be at 0, 1,000. That means I'm starting out with $1,000. Let me jump back to 31 real quick. My x-intercept is going to be 0, 0. And my y-intercept will also be 0, 0. The independent variable, again, is on the bottom, so that's years. And my dependent variable on the left is the account balance, how much money you have in the account. Okay, 33. We have the rate of change, so again, that's slope, so you get to pick any 2 points. So this is going to be my x1, this is going to be my x2, this is going to be my y1, this is going to be my y2. Notice the location of my labels because my table is horizontal this time. So my rate of change is going to be 285 minus 300 over 1 minus 0. And that's going to give me negative 15 over 1, or negative 15. What does that mean? H is height, so I'm going negative 15 feet per second. My time is seconds. Y-intercept. Okay, if it's on my y-intercept, that means it's crossing my y-axis. And on my y-axis, my x coordinate is 0. So my y-intercept is at 0, 300. The independent variable that's on the top of the table, that would be time, which is seconds. And my dependent variable would be the height, which is feet. 34. Rate of change. Again, I'm going to take x1, y1, x2, y2. And that's going to give me 2 minus 1.25 over 1 minus 0. And that gives me 75 over 1, or just 75.75. Meaning, that means I'm being charged 75 cents per scoop. My y-intercept, again, I want to look and find out where it crosses my y-axis, where I'm beginning at, and I'm beginning at $1.25. So my y-intercept is 0, 1.25. My independent variable is on the left side, so that's represented by the number of scoops. And the cost is the dependent variable. 35, identify the x and y intercepts. Okay, if I'm finding my x-intercept, that means my y equals 0. So I would get 5x plus 0 equals 3, which gives me 5x equals 3, divide by 5, and x is equal to 3/5. So that means my x-intercept is at 3/5, 0. Then I have my y-intercept. With my y-intercept, my x is equal to 0. So I get 5 times 0 plus y equals 3. 0 plus y equals 3, which gives me y equal to 3. And my y-intercept is at 0, 3. Those are points of intersection. 36, what are the x and y intercepts and what does each of them represent? My x-intercept is when my y equals 0. So I'm going to look for my y, which is on the bottom, and look for 0, and I find it here. So my x-intercept is at 10, 0. My y-intercept is when x is equal to 0, so I'm going to look at my x's and find out where x equals 0. and x equals 0 here, so I've got 0, 500. My x-intercept is how long it takes to reach 0, so it takes 10 hours to drive home. And my y-intercept is my beginning amount, so that means I am starting 500 miles away from home. Okay, 37, identify the x and y intercepts from the given values. Okay, again, for my x-intercept, my y is going to equal 0. So I'm going to get 8x minus 4y. Oh, I'm sorry, I wanted to put in 0 for that. Equals negative 24. So I get 8x minus 0 equals negative 24. 8x equals negative 24. Divide by 8. And x equals negative 3. So my x-intercept is at negative 3, 0. And then for my y, my x equals 0. So I would do 8 times 0. Oops. Minus 4y equals negative 24. I get 0 minus 4y equals negative 24. Negative 4y equals negative 24. Divide by negative 4, and my y is equal 6. So my y-intercept is at 0, 6. 38, what are the values for the x and y-intercept? Again, with my x-intercept, my y is equal to 0. So I'm going to come over to my y's and look for 0. And I see my x-intercept is at 10, 0. And again, my y-intercept is when x is 0. So I'm going to look and find out where x is 0. And that's at 0, 40. Write down the formula that we use to find slope. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Which letter represents the slope in the equation? Well, slope is the m variable. Explain the difference between a line with a 0 slope and a line that is undefined. A 0 slope is horizontal. An undefined slope is vertical. That's horizontal. This is vertical. Enjoy your review.